Super Tuesday is coming up. We got a primary Saturday, and of course, in November, we have presidential elections. And what's presidential elections without election shenanigans? So, this article, written by Warner Todd Houston, published on the 28th from the Washington Sentinel. Election group sues over impossibly high voter registrations in swing states. An election integrity group has found that there is a sudden suspicious surge of voter registrations in key swing states. Now, that's probably a little misleading. Well, let's find out what they're talking about. The group, called the Honest Elections Project, has found that key counties in states such as Florida, Michigan, and Colorado have registrations often exceeding 100% of the number of eligible voters in the region. The group says that the counties have not culled voter rolls of registrations of voters who have died, moved to another county, or even left the state, leaving tens of thousands of names on the rolls that are ineligible to vote in the districts. The group examined publicly available registration records and compared it with the citizen voting age data from the U.S. Census Bureau, describing the figures as suspiciously high. All three states have multiple counties where voter registration rates exceed 90%. In some cases, they exceed 100%. In the last election in 2018, the nationwide registration rate, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, was 66.9%. That disparity is a clear sign that these states aren't maintaining accurate voter rolls. So they're not actually saying they're committing voter fraud or allowing it, they're just not purging their rolls. As Fox reported, the organization's finding revealed that 27 counties in Florida have voter registration rates above 90%, well above the national average. 7 counties with rates higher than 100%. Michigan has 18 counties above 90% and 1 above 100%. Colorado has 19 above 90% and 5 above 100%. In 2016, for reference, Hillary Clinton won Colorado by a slim margin, 2.8%. Trump won Florida by 1.3% and Michigan by just 0.4%. The group warns states with untidy voter registration rules that the situation that leaves them open for voter fraud. Retaining voter rolls bloated with ineligible voters harms the electoral process, heightens the risk of electoral fraud, and undermines public confidence in elections, the letter said. Consovoy noted that the National Voter Registration Act requires states to keep accurate voter rolls and provides for individuals to notify their states and then sue if action is not taken within 90 days, which the voters intend to do if necessary. The group demands that the states institute new programs to make sure voter registration lists are true. Naturally, liberals claim it is only an effort to suppress the vote of minorities. It makes one wonder how the liberals know that only minority votes will be suppressed if they don't already know that so many of those voters are fraudulently registered in the first place, doesn't it? Alright, that last paragraph is all nonsense. But the first part of voter rolls, right? So having moved several times, states don't actually track people, right? Because, well, this isn't Bernie's socialist utopia yet, so you have freedom to move. So it's on the duty of the citizens to actually inform their states that, hey, I moved. And a lot of people don't. And then you got places like Florida, you got a lot of retirees. Those people are going to die off, and it's not like grieving family members are beating down Florida's door to say, yo, grandma died. But the group is correct that having an excess number of people on your rolls who could then be used to illegally vote. Remember the old joke about, how many times did the people in the graveyard vote for Hillary? Yeah, that's the thing. So, and it's a thing because of absentee voting, right? And most places in America don't require voter ID. You need ID to get on a plane, buy cigarettes, check out a book at a library, buy a gun. But for voting, no ID. Because what's the worst that could happen? You could vote for a guy who could start a world war. I mean, sure, that makes sense. Because people are really concerned about election fraud. All right, so let's talk about a form of voter fraud called ballot harvesting. All right, but first, let's go to California. Did 11 California counties have more voters than eligible adults? Yeah, probably. California Secretary of State Alex Padilla is rebutting allegations of a Washington, D.C. group that 11 California counties, including San Diego County, have more registered voters than adults eligible to vote. He says it's baseless. But they're not saying that they're committing frauds. They're just saying, again, they're not cleaning up their voter rolls. And every time states do, someone's going to come out of the woodwork, probably from the Democratic Party, and freak out that they're disenfranchising voters. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those things like, hey, use it or lose it. It doesn't take but like 2 minutes to vote. In most states, you can register the same day. Unless you plan on voting absentee and having someone pick up your ballot. All right, so in 2018, the Republicans got stung because they lost a bunch of seats they had in Orange County. All right, this is the San Diego Union Tribune, and they're talking about ballot harvesting. How is it used in California elections? And this was written by Luis Gomez in 2018. In the wake of last month's blue wave that wrested control of the House from Republicans and transferred it to the Democratic Party, some members of the GOP are complaining about the results and the practice of so-called ballot harvesting in California. In the most high-profile example, House Speaker Paul Ryan said that California defies logic and he can't begin to understand what ballot harvesting is. The issue of ballot harvesting also captures the media spotlight because in the same election, a rep from North Carolina was accused of ballot harvesting and the Democrats refused to seat him. And then there was another special election and the Republicans took the seat anyway. Ballot harvesting is political jargon for a practice in which organized workers or volunteers collect absentee ballots from certain voters and drop them off at a polling place or election office. Coined by California Republicans, the term carries a negative connotation to suggest improprieties and even election fraud. The conservative site townhall.com called it the California Democrats' latest election stealing tool. Is it legal? Yes, because the Democrats made it legal in California. So here's how it spells out the practice. All votes by mail ballots cast on this division shall be voted on or before the day of the election. After marking the ballot, the vote by mail voter shall do any of the following: return the ballot by mail in person to the elections official, return the ballot in person to a member of a precinct board at a polling place within jurisdiction, return the ballot to the election official from whom it came at a vote by mail ballot drop-off location if provided. However, a vote by mail voter who is unable to return the ballot may designate any person to return the ballot to the elections official from whom it came or to the precinct board at a polling place within the jurisdiction. The ballot must, however, be received by either the election official from whom it came or the precinct board before the close of the polls on election day. Did the ballot harvesting take place in California's elections? Anecdotally, news reports have so far identified one county where the practice was noticed. Orange County's Register of Voters, Neil Kelly. Coincidentally, Orange County is where the Republicans lost almost all their seats. Told the San Francisco Chronicle that the county certainly had that going on here with people dropping off maybe 100 or 200 ballots. Fred Whitaker, chairman of the Republican Party, told supporters that GOP lost in the county where the direct result of ballot harvesting allowed under California law. Did it amount to election fraud? Hard to say because California doesn't really maintain their election rolls. And if you remember, California is also a place that automatically opts you in to vote when you get a driver's license, and they coincidentally do give illegal aliens driver's licenses. And they are lagging behind the country in real ID issuing, which will be fun when the real ID issue is a requirement to get on planes. Sorry, LAX. There have been no credible reports of ballot harvesting being employed illegally or systemically to amount to election fraud. You'd have to prove that the ballot is fake. So, again, unless you look for it, and it would take more than just anecdotal evidence, you're not going to find it or be able to prove it. Democrats have scoffed at the theories of election fraud, and Secretary of State Alex Padilla was quoted saying that the laws don't benefit one party over another. Really? Did ballot harvesting help win? Yeah, probably. To say that we were caught flat-footed by this is just not true. We were well aware of this, said GOP spokesman Matt Fleming. We even did it ourselves to pay attention to election laws. Dale Neubauer, a veteran Republican consultant, said that the Democrats used the practice in a thorough and disciplined ground game. Absolutely, ballot harvesting played a very significant role. I have a little bit of professional admiration for how well the Democrats executed their plan. So here we have California's late votes broke big for the Democrats. Why was the GOP surprised? So ballot harvesting was allowed under Jerry Brown signed into law under Assembly Bill 1921 in 2016, right? So what I'm drawing your attention to is in Orange County alone, where every House seat went Democratic, the number of Election Day vote-by-mail drop-offs was unprecedented, over 250,000. This is a direct result of ballot harvesting allowed under California law for the first time. So that got me wondering, 250,000 is a lot. What is that for Orange County? So 2018 population in Orange County, right? 3.185 million. And doing some math, there's 2.3 million people over the age of 18 in Orange County. So, assuming they all voted, right? Let's just do the math. They had 71% voter registration or voter participation. That's 1.6 million votes were cast in that election. Of those 1.6, you have 250,000 out of 1.6 million. So 15.6% of the votes were cast absentee in Orange County, which is heavily urban. Very suspicious. But hey, it could all be a happy coincidence, or it could just be a systemic abuse of our system because people are really concerned with voter security. Or to put it another way, people are concerned that they're going to lose an election if they have to have a fair fight. So remember, vote, register to vote, and only do it once.